Good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock, so we'll get started. So we'll call the meeting to order. And please remember that the meetings are now recorded, so turn on your mic when you are speaking, please. The agenda has been passed out. Looking to see if there's any amendments to the agenda. Oh, and sorry, and Nicole is joining us via Teams. You can hear us okay, Nicole?
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. Don't see any amendments to the agenda. Looking for a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
That the July 8th, 2025 agenda be adopted as presented.
Thank you. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Oh, sorry, Nicole.
Yes,
Okay. Are you in favor of the motion? Are you going to type it in or are you going to speak?
I will just type it in.
Okay, thank you. So Karen, you'll be able to show that the answer? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. So we have the agenda as adopted and looking for any declaration of conflict of interest. Seeing none, we'll move on.
I just want to have council acknowledge that I've received a formal complaint under the Code of Ethics bylaw number 2023-05. This complaint meets the scope of the bylaw. Therefore, I'm asking council to acknowledge the complaint and I will initiate the investigation process immediately.
Looking for Tim.
The council acknowledges there has been one Code of Ethics complaint filed as per bylaw number 2023-05 and further that in the investigation proceed will commence promptly.
Thank you. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. And we're down to, we're down to the meeting minutes for June 24th. They were in the package that was sent out to council on Friday. Any questions on the minutes? Any additions, deletions that you've come across? Okay, looking for motion to accept the regular June 24th meeting minutes as circulated. Karen.
That the minutes of the regular meeting held on June 24th, 2025 be approved as circulated and presented.
Thank you. Questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. And we're down to a delegation. I'm sorry, I should have introduced you or noted at the first that we have a delegation, but we're down to a delegation. If you want to step up to the table here and Paige, you'll show them how to run the mic. Thank you. You're here regarding a proposed subdivision or contract zone. So if you wanted to introduce yourself and we'll turn the floor over to you.
Okay, thank you everyone and good morning. My name is Scott Assier. I am a registered professional planner representing Wayne and Sherman Investments with his proposed subdivision. Did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I think probably remember me in here. I think it was about a year ago. I'm Wayne Coburn, landowner of the proposed subdivision and live up in just north of Pilot Butte.
Thank you. Then please proceed.
Okay, so I don't know, are we able to put up, oh, perfect. The proposed subdivision is just being shown on the screen. What I wanted to do is just go through a brief history of this parcel and the subdivisions that have happened. This probably does look familiar to most of you, and then just talk about some of the public consultation that occurred with the most recent subdivision and how we plan to address that. So there have been a few subdivision applications throughout the past several years. The first one was to subdivide out the existing residence in the southeast corner there on lot 3. So that was approved, and that parcel was rezoned from the CR2 zoning to CR3. After that, the next subdivision was the extension of Tragassa Drive, bringing in access to this parcel from the west. So that was approved, surveyed, registered with land titles. And the most recent subdivision, we attempted to subdivide this parcel into, I believe it was 4 or 5 additional lots, and have it, at that time, the intent was to rezone this to CR3. We went through the public consultation process, notifying landowners within 125 meters. And so there was 13 landowners that met that criteria. 1 was in favor, 3 were opposed, and 9 were either impartial or had no response. So ultimately, the subdivision wasn't approved in the intended configuration. What was approved was parcels that met the CR2 zoning. So if you're looking at the plan, that lots 1, what's shown as lots 1 and 6 in the north end, that is currently 1 parcel. This plan split that in half. And then lots 2, 4, and 5 are currently 1 parcel. So those are the 3 that make up sort of the southern portion of the site. Those are currently 1 parcel. So as it exists right now, there are three lots within this development. So at the time, we've kind of taken a step back and looked to see how we can address some of the concerns that were raised. One of the main concerns was the rezoning from CR2 to CR3, potentially having a much higher density of development with lots as small as 0.14 hectares. And the concern being that, this wouldn't maintain the character of the neighborhood. So we're no longer proposing a CR3 zone. We're going to propose a contract zone, which I'll touch on in a minute. But the proposed development has lots ranging from 0.5 hectares, which is 1.24 acres, to 0.82 hectares, which is just over 2 acres. So right now the proposal is lots ranging from 1.24 to just over 2 acres, which would be 6 lots total. So we're proposing going from 3 as it exists today to 6 total, which we do believe is in line with the official community plan, whereby the RM wishes to accommodate for growth in the residential sectors, including rural and country style options. So as I said, there was a previous concern about rezoning to CR3, where any current or future owner could then re-subdivide their lot into smaller lots at a much higher density. But I think it's important to note that there are more development standards than just minimum site area that one would have to meet. There's frontage requirements, site coverage, front, side, and rear yard setbacks that also have to be met. And with this proposal being at the end of a cul-de-sac, it will be difficult to re-subdivide further while still maintaining all of those development standards. In addition to development standards, every subdivision application must be approved by the community planning branch, must meet water and sewer requirements for increased densities, off-site servicing fees. So there are many more factors that one has to consider than just the minimum site area. So I think that's important to note. But what we are proposing, just to alleviate any concerns with the re-subdivision of lots, is to enter into a contract zone that would largely mirror the CR2 zone with respect to land use, but allow for a minimum lot size of a half acre, which is the 1.24 acres. So this would prevent any future owner from subdividing these lots further. Another concern that was brought up was whether or not an aquifer protection plan had been prepared and submitted. The answer is yes. The owner had an aquifer protection plan, a geotechnical report, and a private on-site wastewater study prepared by professional engineers. So these studies have been completed. They have been submitted to the RM with the previous subdivision application. And there are recommendations that support this development and ensure that no aquifer would be contaminated throughout this process. I think the other main concern that we heard was that the development of these lots could affect people's privacy, being the additional lots. So to address concerns regarding privacy and additional neighbors, we were careful to propose lot lines that are maintaining what we're calling a 1-to-1 new neighbor ratio. So for example, if you're looking at the plan, parcel E to the north or parcel D, either one, currently they back onto one neighbor today. They have one neighbor that they share property lines with. If this subdivision were to be proposed, we are going to maintain that 1-to-1 ratio. So the division line between proposed lots 1 and 6 intersects with the division line between parcels E and D to the north. So trying to maintain that 1-to-1 ratio where parcels E and D would still only share boundaries with 1. So there wouldn't be an increase in neighbors for any of these owners. And that is the same for parcels A and C to the east, as well as parcels M and Q to the west. So Wayne is the owner. His intent is to keep one of these lots for himself to build a residence, and then the other 4 would be sold to prospective buyers. So those were the main concerns. There was a few other comments that came in through the public consultation that maybe aren't as applicable to this development, but those were the main ones that came up consistently, and that is our plan in how to address those comments. The density by going to a contract zone that would mirror the CR2 zone and maintain the character of this area, and the aquifer protection. Those studies have been completed, have been submitted, and the recommendations would be followed. So unless, Wayne, you have any other comments, I guess we're not necessarily asking for a decision today. We still have to make a formal subdivision application to the RM and to community planning. I think what we're after is, I don't want to say support because that's not the right word, and we understand council can't commit to a decision one way or the other, but I guess we're sort of, we don't want to proceed if there are any major red flags, just because we have kind of gone down this road previously, and I don't think Wayne wants to invest the time and money if we know that it's going to be shut down.
Yeah, I think you covered it good, Scott. We're very much open to any feedback or suggestions from the council here, and I just want to make sure that we're going about this the right way. And we know a final decision would be during the formal process, but we just want to put this in front of everyone now for comment.
Council have any questions for delegation?
I just have a comment, Wayne. I do appreciate all the work that you've done to address the issues surrounding like the neighbors' concerns. I feel like you've done a really good job in addressing those. So I just want to acknowledge though the work you've done to protect the area and the integrity of the area.
Yeah, I see you did a lot of homework and testing and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it looks like you're trying to do the right thing for everybody, and I think that's great.
Go ahead, Carmen.
Just a question, Wayne. Just for clarity, then on that southeast one that was first subdivided out, their access is still going to be on that south side. It's not coming through in any fashion, correct?
Yeah, correct. My original plan was to put another access in from the highway on the south side there, which highways would not allow an additional access, which made sense. And then through discussions with administration here, we decided to do the road for the additional lots. So that existing access remains the same, and it serves the house at the bottom right, and it also serves lot A as well, kind of a double access.
And I know when we had talked, you had indicated that you or your family are looking to move to one of these. It's probably premature, but do you know which one you're looking at? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, we're thinking probably one of the ones at the back. Our original plan was to build a house kind of in the back, in the middle, and actually keep it all. But after living in the house at the on the southeast corner for a couple of years, we clued in as city dwellers that 10 acres was probably a little much. So we changed the plan. But one of the back ones is what we would like. Maybe even keep both of them for now.
Other questions for?
I know some of the subdivisions, they have to have two access points. This one doesn't, is one that just with that hub in the middle be enough then?
Yeah, the cul-de-sac isn't long enough to trigger that.
Okay.
Karen, are you able to bring up Google Maps? I just want to sort of get a scope as to the surrounding area. I was thinking more sort of a pullback. Okay, thank you. I just sort of wanted that larger perspective.
Any other questions from council? Stan?
Yes, seeing that's on a very sensitive aquifer area, what have, and I read that, it's very close. Are you going to gather you look at mounds, is that correct?
Yeah, great question there. So they did have a private on-site wastewater study completed by professional engineers. The conclusion was that private on-site systems would be supported if they are holding tanks. No additional studies or work would need to be completed. If the intent is to go to a mound system, for example, then there would have to be additional studies completed to make sure that nothing would seep into the aquifer. But mounds are supported without any additional work. That was the recommendation.
Okay, so that, so you're going to support, looking at that as 4 lots or 6 lots in that area?
So currently there are 3 lots.
Right,
The proposal is for 6.
for 6.
Correct, yes.
So the size will accommodate a mound, is that correct?
So the size will accommodate, the recommendation was for holding tanks, sorry. I might have said mound earlier, but holding tanks. mounds could be supported, but with additional engineering work studies.
So without having a discharge, basically it's going to be pump and dump, which for you know a household, I can see it for the recreational type cabins and stuff like that. But to have pump and dump for each one of those residents, that's going to be quite a cost then too, is it not?
Yeah, I can't comment on the cost. I'm not sure what that would be. Generally, the engineering work that has been completed, it does support on-site systems. Like there's multiple on-site systems that could be supported. That would be up to the buyers to apply for whatever system they wanted to through the health region. But I guess where we're coming from is that it's on-site systems can be supported on this land, a multitude of on-site systems. What they're saying is that if the purchaser were to install a holding tank, no additional engineering work would be required. But if they wanted to go to a mound type system, for example, then additional work would need to be completed to ensure that it's done properly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Paige. With the mound system, it's up there. They're going more with the fields now, aren't they? As far as with the pump out systems.
It's up to the property owner of what application they apply to SHA. So we don't actually see those applications come through our office at all.
When we have a set of house plans done for the area, and we did actually cost out on site, and I forget the exact numbers, but I've also costed out a mound as well for another project, and I seem to remember in the grand scheme of building a new house, it wasn't terribly different, but we could provide more on that if needed.
What do you have in your property right now?
You mean this house or where I live? This house has a mound. Yeah.
As you said, Scott, you're not looking for a decision, obviously, because this hasn't entered the process. You're just looking for any red flags that would suggest that you need to go away and do some more work.
Correct. Yeah, we understand that a formal application still needs to be made through the RM and through community planning, and we understand that you can't say yes or no today based because you don't have that formal application and it needs to go through that process. I think we want to know if there's any red flags before going through this application. If we need to, it's a lot of time and effort and money to do that. So we just want to, having gone through this once already, and with not a positive result, we just want to avoid that work if we don't have to.
Getting back to the wastewater again, have you ever talked to the WCRM 158 wastewater system to see about hooking up?
No, we haven't investigated that option up to this point. The investigations have just been on site. I mean, I'm sure we could look into the feasibility of that as well prior to making a submission.
Any other questions for our delegation? Carmen?
This question is actually maybe for Stan. What would be the distance to service from the wastewater facility?
Well, they would hook up into to White City and go that direction because that's already there in White City. They'd have to check with it. It's just an option. That's all it is. It's something to look into.
I mean, that would be the other side of Kennedy. Kennedy
On
Road.
on the east side of Kennedy. Well, the sewer's already on the west side of Kennedy.
Yep.
You'd have to check about the east side of Kennedy.
Yep.
That's right.
I don't know, my assumption that would be one of the only red flags that I could see. Is what's going to happen with wastewater, because I know that the pump and dump thing is okay for the interim, but to have a grand, you're going to make your forever home there. You don't want to be paying to get your sewage pumped out every whatever. So that would be the only thing I could see.
Question, I guess, maybe for Paige, from your perspective, the contract zone approach would facilitate the, thank you, would facilitate or address the concerns that have been identified.
Yeah, in terms of the re-subdividing of the land, we can address that in a contract zone with limiting the frontage for the lot. So we will ensure that you can't subdivide more than, 2 lots or whatever it may be. In terms of the privacy, contract zone's not going to necessarily assist in that, but the redevelopment of the sites it would. Yeah.
Okay, I don't see any more questions from council. Thank you very much, and we'll wait for the actual proposal to come in.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate what you guys do here. We'll see you all again.
Okay, Sarah, we're down to the list of accounts.
Check 5422 to Boyd Construction for the nuisance mowing. These fees will be charged back to the landowners in accordance with the yard maintenance policy. Throughout the checks, there's payments of the 2025 recreation grants and the other municipal grants as approved last meeting. And then in the proposed payment EFT section, the Brant tractor blades invoice, this is within the blades budget of $42,000 for 2025. And for the Health Expo, transferring the funds to the Health Expo account. The Expo volunteers have opened their own bank account, so we're transferring over the funds for them to use for the event expenses and their scholarship. And nothing too much to note on the visa report.
Questions for Sarah on the list of accounts?
A couple. Item number 5429, Epona Farms. That's, I'm presuming, to deal with some of the leafy spurge challenges.
For the Tordon 22K rebate, so we rebate up to $5,000 for individual landowners.
So that means they've actually really tapped into that funds that's great. The other question I had was around on the prepaid, the postage meter of 4,200. I'm just curious, what period is that for?
We load funds in advance. So we're just loading some funds in advance of the tax notices going out in August.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Sarah on the list of accounts? Looking for a motion to accept the list of accounts as presented and the EFT payments. Stephen.
The list of accounts consisting of checks 5418 to 5443, EFT payments number 172 to 173, other payments number 192 to 199, credit card payments number 17, and proposed EFT payments totaling $228,285.03, plus June 15, 2025 payroll totaling $62,520.90 be approved for payment.
Thank you. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. All right. Down to Engineering and Public Works report, Clark.
Good morning, Council. We'll start with the Public Works bi-weekly report. I'll just touch on some highlights. So we complete the Woods Park plantings, all the trees are in and all the mulch is in, so that project's complete. And the flashing crosswalks have been installed along South Plains Road in Emerald Park. We did get a complaint in Spruce Creek, so they've done a lot of work in their pond to remediate all the silt buildup that's happened in the bottom of their pond. They've rip-wrapped the entire perimeter of the pond to prevent erosion. And during some recent rains, they saw kind of a silt bloom enter the pond from the sewer system. So they contacted me to say this is an issue and you know, we need to deal with it. So we went and inspected, and there's some silt fencing that we had to install. So last week we installed silt fencing at every single entrance. There's kind of 4 entrances where the pipes lead to the pond. So we've installed silt fencing along there. There's some seeding that we need to do along the drainage channels that lead in there to kind of help with how much erosion is going to be happening. But we've kind of responded to and addressed the concerns that they have for that. In the rural, so we've started the top cut mowing last week. Our gravel haulers are looking to move in next week, so we'll have a whole bunch of gravel coming onto the roads over the rest of the month. You'll see in the project, civic addressing has ramped back up, so they installed 110 signs in June. So right now they're about 54% complete. So there's still 360 some to go, and hopefully we can get those done in the next couple months here.
They haven't given a completion date at all.
No, they were in, was it yesterday he was in, I saw? Yeah, did they indicate?
Yeah, SAS first will only let him put in so many tickets at a time. So I think it's like 50 or 60. Yeah. And then if he tries to put in more, they just deny it. So I'm not sure when he'll get done, but
Yeah, I would say so.
So I've had a couple of the northern ratepayers phoning me, and that's what I've been telling them. I says, you know, they're trying to get it done as quick as they can, but again, with doing the locates and stuff, it puts them behind. And I says, but according to the contract, we should have it completed by the end of this year. So that's the best we can do. Hope for.
Yeah, that's the right message. For water and wastewater, we had Rod's completed his level 1 certifications for water distribution, water treatment, and wastewater collection. So he'll be on our permit now and going forward for level 2 in the coming months, years.
There goes your weekends, right there.
they were going anyway.
We also saw really high water usage.
I have a question before we move on.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just have a couple more things and then I'll open it up so you can go, Nicole. We did see really high water usage in June. To the distribution system, it was about 30% higher than normal. And on July 2nd, we had our highest water usage day. So now that we've had 6 months of billing, we're going to take a look at the water meter data versus our distribution meter data, just to make sure that there's no leaks in the system. We've been investigating and looking for a potential leak in their system, but so far Jason's been running around the RM anywhere our pipes are, and there's no indication that there's a leak anywhere. So just want to make sure that the usage really has jumped up that much from last year to this year, because we didn't see that much of a jump from 2023 to 2024, and we don't have that many more new connections that would justify kind of this level of usage. But it could just be a seasonal temperature swing that we're seeing as well. And then lastly, we just have material delivery has started at the rural cold storage. They're looking at getting going next week on it. So that cold storage building will start going up here in July and hopefully be done by the end of the month. I'll take questions.
Nicole, go ahead there, please.
Yeah. So in Woods Crescent in the park, there's a culvert in the back. I had a ratepayer ask me if I could send the RM, the public works guys over there to trim up around the culvert. because it's sort of blocking, and it will definitely help with the drainage over there. So could somebody go take a look at that for me, please?
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Thank you.
And Rod, one of the walkway lights on South Plains Road is burnt out. Noticed it a couple nights ago. It's not working. About halfway down.
I had stopped off at the rural shop there to pick up the trailer with the bales and stuff from the Rock and Field Day, and those rafters look pretty impressive. Holy smokes, they are big. Just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea how big the shop's going to be.
Yeah, it's a big span.
Cold storage.
Yeah.
And Rod, congratulations on passing your exam.
Questions. Back to Spruce Creek, Clark. You know the drainage channels where we had done the one not to their satisfaction last year? What are we doing with those other three?
So I reached out for quotes from 3 landscapers. So far, we've received 1 quote from Rispens, and it was, so we budgeted $75,000 for the 3 remaining channels. There's 4 channels.
Yeah.
1 we've redone. 1 we can't do anything with. I talked with Kevin Dell, and they need that for access to the lake just in case their equipment needs to pull water from there. So we have to leave that one as well. So we have 2 remaining channels. Rispens quote came in at $50,000 per channel. And so I've been contacting 2 other companies trying to get quotes from them as well. Still haven't received anything. The one company is saying it's just probably not constructible to put the rock up the side slopes as we've requested. So they're sourcing a different solution. So it might not be to their satisfaction, but we'll at least know a pricing and another option for it. So it's kind of been a waiting game to see who's available to do the work and what the budget ends up being for it. So I was planning on bringing that to the asset committee meeting. It's been on my agenda, but I haven't been able to bring it forward because we haven't got all the quotes in yet.
So are they aware that we're working on it? Just that this has been a...
Yep, I've been in contact with the co-op.
Okay.
They ask for updates every once in a while. They have their meetings. So
Yeah.
they reach out every once in a while and I provide them a short update on it.
Okay, so they're aware of that. And the only other thing I had, Rod, you know that fence or that grass that was supposed to be cut on Mission there between the pathway and that fence? They went,
Right, yeah.
they went out and did it, but it's pretty narrow and they couldn't get in there, and the repair came back and said, really, you need like a whippersnapper to go out there and clean
Yeah.
that up?
Yeah, they'll get to it this week. They'll
This
be
week?
over it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions for Clark or Rod? Okay, Stan, you go ahead.
My pet peeve, potholes.
What's that?
My pet peeve, potholes. When are we going to start on that?
They should have done those last week. But I believe Brody's out today sweeping for our painting of white lines up north. So he'll be done that this morning, and then we're going right on to potholes tomorrow, this afternoon. And then probably Thursday or Friday, we're gonna head up to 2185 up to on that west road. And we're gonna spend a whole day there. We've got some serious potholes to get down there. So we'll be, as soon as we get done cutting grass today here, we'll be on it tomorrow and Thursday.
That would be on Jackson.
Yeah, you should
Park
get
River Road?
Jackson done today. Yeah.
Thank you.
Rod, will that include the 2183? Like that, there's a lot of potholes on there and that work that I showed you by Rock Point? Yeah. Will he do the main road as well? Like there's some like.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, thanks.
My next one is down by the compressor station. 624. Are we going to do something about that? That's getting bad, very bad. It's high
Yeah.
traffic area.
That's with the canola oil on the dust proofing, whatever. So, yeah, I think Derek wants to take a water truck down there in a packer and do it. So that's sort of the plan. is to, we're gonna have to reblade that, water it again, but we'll have to line that up with the contractor to come out there at the same time. So I don't know if he's done that yet, so I'll check into it though.
That get pretty dangerous there.
It's really rutted bad, yeah.
Yes.
Pothole.
I have a question. In the winter, we were talking about that some companies or ratepayers can hire for snow removal. Is that the same with lawn cutting and stuff?
Oh, custom work from the Public Works Department? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yeah, because there's a kind of a big area that one of the ratepayers was asking if they could pay the RM to come and cut it.
No, we don't do custom work for mowing. I think we generally point them to contractors for that.
Okay, thanks.
A part of the problem, I think, in the past, that we did go and do some favors like that, and all of a sudden our guys drove over some trees and it cost the RM quite a bit, so we learned from our mistakes and we don't do it anymore.
Just a question in terms of the Copper Sands water meter there. There's mention of it was frozen again this past winter and is inoperable. What is the plan to deal with that? And is it presumably Copper Sands' responsibility?
Correct. Yeah, it is their responsibility. They put it in and they put in a water meter the first winter. It's underground, it's in a manhole, so it's about 9 feet down. The manhole leaks water and the first meter froze. So we went in there and tried to plug a little bit of some of the holes on the inside, some of the joints, whatever. So we caulked them all. But water came in again afterwards. So I think it's coming in from the bottom base. I don't know where the leak's coming in from, but it needs a building or something. So we put in a new meter after we caulked it. And this last winter it froze again, so it's inoperable. So yeah, so they're to put either a building on it or cover it somehow and insulate it.
We being they, Copper Sands?
Yeah, we'll come up with some sort of a solution and let them know that we're going to do something. So we're gonna have to sit down and talk, like Clark and their engineer or whatever.
Yeah, it's ultimately their responsibility.
Yeah.
So we'll let them know that because even the meter itself was their responsibility and their warranty, they've paid for it now. So it's the onus is on them to provide a solution. We'll just have to work. We just like working with them, like working with people who have these problems to make sure that we're proving whatever they're working through. So when he says we, it's the collective we working through the problem, but the fiduciary responsibility rests with the developer.
So just to that point, we're already in the middle of July. Winter comes really quick. So I wouldn't want them to run into a situation yet again. So just putting that out there.
Any other questions for Clark or Rod? Okay, looking for a motion to accept the Public Works report as presented. Carmen,
I'll take the short one. That we accept the Public Works report as presented.
thank you. I assume we have no more questions on the motion. All in favor? Motion is carried. We're down to the June water report.
Yep. So no upset conditions, no water breaks to report. Comment on there about the water plant inspection. I think we went through last meeting, went through the inspection report. So nothing else to note other than that high water usage.
Okay, motion to accept the water report as presented.
So we accept the June 2025 monthly water report as presented, with it noted that no upset conditions occurred during this period.
Thank you. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, gonna go down to. We're going to skip one the 8.3 on there because there's a possibility that the ratepayer is going to show up as a delegation. So we'll wait till the end before we address 8.3. So I didn't actually miss it. So we're down to 9.9 for RM business. And John is going to present on council remuneration guidelines. Ooh. Yeah, or Karen. Oh, sorry, Karen.
All right, so it is to establish interim guidelines for council remuneration while a comprehensive policy is being developed. It aims to outline eligible activities for remuneration to ensure council members understand what is covered and offer a standardized approach to remuneration until the final policy is ready. These guidelines will set the groundwork for a detailed remuneration policy to be presented in December for the following year. So council established the 2025 council remuneration by resolution at the January 14th regular council meeting. At the April 8th regular council meeting, council had discussed council remuneration, and following that discussion, council directed administration to develop a council remuneration policy, including eligible and ineligible activities, and report back to council with recommendations. Administration has reviewed several remuneration policies from various municipalities within Saskatchewan and across Canada. It's been observed that these policies vary significantly in their approach and structure. So to ensure a thorough and comprehensive policy is developed, administration is recommending their approval of guidelines for eligible activities for remuneration in the interim. So when establishing council remuneration, there is various sections of legislation that must be considered, one being public notice is required. Council has already established the daily and hourly remuneration along with the mileage and cell phone allowance at that January 14 council meeting. As there's no changes to the amounts, public notice is not required at this stage. The following guidelines for eligible activities and travel expenses are proposed for council remuneration, and those are shown in the chart on the report. Oh, sorry. Okay. So we're right here. Oops. Okay. So for next steps, administration will continue to review other municipalities' policies and gather additional input. A comprehensive remuneration policy will be developed and presented to council in December for implementation in the following year. Other options for council would be council could wait and approve a comprehensive remuneration policy for 2026. So council can review the activities listed and make any changes if necessary, but the ones listed are the ones that council has typically been claiming as eligible activities right now.
I guess I got to change the way I put it in, Sarah, right? Can't do half days anymore for council meetings. It has to be hourly rate. I will do that.
That was kind of the question I had with half days, full days, what kind of hours so that we're all on the same page? So like, is a full day per SARM like a 7-hour day or?
Yeah, so the breakdown for the hourly to our daily rate is a 7-hour day.
7-hour day.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to remind council that this is our recommendation. If you guys want to do this differently, or if you want to see it reported differently, or you want to add something as eligible, please speak up. This was just our review and recommendation.
I think the big thing is you want to, because I know there's some of us that get caught in our own ways and do it and stuff, but it's nice to have everybody on the same page. And I really feel that this is important to try, because it seems that when I first got on council, boy, I tell you, there was no help on what I should be charging, what I shouldn't be charging and stuff. And you know, over the years, you know, some of our staff have corrected me on different things that, you know, you got to do it this way and you got to do it that way. And it helps. And especially for new counselors coming on, again, it's a lot to take in. So it's good that we have some kind of a policy for it. So I'm all in favor of it.
I would suggest that we adopt this in the interim, and council can put forth any suggestions or changes to it for the in-depth review that's going to happen at the end of this year for 2026. This would be my suggestion.
I would agree with that. And I guess Shauna and Karen, I guess Karen primarily, if there's elements that we think are worth noting, we can just email them to you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, other comments before we call for a motion? Looking for a motion that we approve the interim eligible activities.
I can do it so long as we don't have to read the entire table.
No, you don't need to read the whole thing. Before we go, Nicole, did you have this up on your screen, Nicole?
Yeah, I do. I see it.
Okay,
I'm all in
perfect.
favor.
Okay,
So I will make the motion that we approve the following eligible activities and travel expenses for council remuneration as follows, as outlined in the very lengthy and detailed table.
thank you. Questions on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Down to tax enforcement, title 28-19-17 west of the second farmland lease agreement.
All right, so this report is to formalize the transfer of a lease agreement between DW Radmacher and the Silzer Estate to the Arm of Edenwold and DW Radmacher as part of the transfer of land ownership for the tax title property at Southeast 28-19-17 west of the second extension 1 and extension 2. So the RM was issued title for the tax title property at Southeast 28-19-17 on May 14th. So once the title's transferred to the municipality has 1 year to sell the parcels by public auction or by tender by sealed bid and pay any debt liens of the property. So there was a previous lease agreement in place for the property between the DW Radmacher and the previous landowner, and they were paying $3,000, including GST, for the 95 acres. So Mr. Radmacher ceded approximately 95 acres on May 10th. So in accordance with subsection 36(1) of the Tax Enforcement Act, a person in occupation of the land when title issues under this act shall be deemed to be the tenant to the municipality named in the title. So the lease agreement for the lands will transfer to the municipality as part of the tax enforcement process. Administration is recommending formalizing the lease agreement with the tenant for a 5-month term until the harvest season has been completed. And the terms in the lease agreement are consistent with the other farmland lease agreement we have for municipal agricultural land at Northeast 1817 west of the second. And the RM will delay auction or put it up for tender until the seeded crop has been harvested. So the recommendation is that we authorize the REEV and CAO to sign the farmland lease agreement.
Looking for motion so we can discuss further. Karen,
That we authorize the REEV and the Chief Administration Officer to sign the farmland lease agreement for tax title property Southeast 28-19-17 west of the second extension 1 and 2 for a 5-month term retrospectively starting May 15th, 2025 and ending on October 15th, 2025 for a total lease amount of $3,000 including GST payable to the RM of Edenwold on June 30th, 2025.
thank you. Questions on the motion?
Sorry, can I make one correction to that? We'll make it payable June 31st, 2025. Oh, sorry, July 31st. Thank you.
Correct that motion payable to the RM of Edenwold on July 31st, 2025.
On the amended motion? Call the question. All in favor? Motion's carried. Okay, we're down to committee reports. Tim, you had a very good summary on your shared notes, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Last Thursday, we had our EMO training exercise, and again, I mistakenly thought it was going to be September that we were starting, but actually started the first one last Thursday. Again, had a very good turnout. And you know, there was a lot of it was more of a refresher course for a lot of us that were at it, but I think it's very important that we try to get these training events in there, because as I had told council before, in April we are going to be having a full-fledged call out that is going to be basically to set up the whole EOC and carry it all out, and it's going to be a very good training exercise. These mini ones that we're doing is just to get people a little bit more familiar with setting up the EOC and how what's happening in that event and everything then too. I think it's really important to have our people that are on that call out sheet to attend, if not all of them, at least some of these. Our next one is going to be on September 11th. And it was brought up at the last one that maybe we should try to get media involved in this, because I don't know if council knows, but we are one of the few areas in the province that has a regional EMO. When I've gone to that conference in Saskatoon and stuff, a lot of people were asking me different questions on how we got all these communities together and everything. And we are kind of trendsetters for the province. So I think it's a good opportunity for us to kind of honk our own horn and get the media. It's a good news thing for the media to show that we are pulling together as communities, and in emergency situation, we're hopefully going to be able to know what to do in that type of a situation. And I've said it before, it's not if it ever happens, it's when it's going to happen. So again, the next one is September 11th. One thing that was brought up at the last one too, they really enjoyed using our facility here. And because we've got the extra room and the acoustics and everything are very good and stuff in it, so it was requested that if we could have them for the upcoming ones, we'd greatly appreciate it too. And you know, I don't know as much of a cost there for a little bit of coffee and a few drinks and stuff go out. I don't think it's a big cost for us. But again, I'll leave it up to council or to decide if that's okay. And if somebody can decide that, I guess, fairly quick, because if we have to make other alternative, you know, some type of other arrangements, we will do it then.
Yeah, I think that's no problem. We can host. That's very easy for us to do.
Perfect. Thank you.
I do want to comment. I had attended. I always try to attend those. I actually really enjoy being involved in that. There was only a couple of hours notice though with the last one, so it's very hard to arrange your schedule with a couple hours notice. So if as committee members we could just pay it forward and put it in each other's calendars so everybody knows what's going on, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, as I had said in my shared notes, I screwed up last time. I was under the understanding it was going to be in September that we were going to start it, but then all of a sudden, Chief Lapchuk had got a hold of me and started asking about different things. He's stopping in at the office here, and all of a sudden, oh shoot! So that's why the panicked phone calls went out and stuff as far as, telling them about the thing. And unfortunately, we didn't have a good response from our people here. But again, September 11th is going to be the next one at 7 o'clock at the RM office. So if you can put that in your calendars now, for anybody that's on the call out sheets, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Tim. Any other committee reports that anything on the culture, arts, and recreation?
We had a delegation from the White Butte Museum, really good presentation. And we are going to be sharing out some and getting our RM involved in sharing out some of their posts and help them to raise some awareness. There were some other ideas that we can talk about. I'll actually send out an email with some of the other ideas in ways that we can help.
Thank you.
Just to build on that, if I may, there is the Bright Butte Museum presentation on the committee document there. So I would encourage people to take a look at it. I'd also like to have that as an item for potentially a discussion for budget in 2026 in terms of support. So just something if we could flag that, Sarah.
Thank you. And that is it for committee reports, I believe. I'll look for a motion for a 15-minute recess.
I would like to make a motion. We have a 15-minute recess.
Thank you. All in favor? Tim's motion is carried. Okay, it's 10:15. We'll reconvene here, and we're down to council roundtable. Darren, we'll start with. Oh, yeah. So sorry. We'll start with you, Darren.
Yeah, it's all good. The donuts are already gone. So thanks. No, I don't have anything today. Thanks.
Tim?
Just a couple of things. One, Clark, have you and Rod gone out to look into that request for the culvert for that ratepayer? They wanted to install one. All they wanted is just us to supply it.
I don't believe we have. I haven't. I can check with Rod, but yeah, I'll double back on that.
He keeps calling, so we appreciate it if you could just take a day. And if you need to know exactly where it is, give me a shout and I can show you where it is. The other thing I seen on that we had just got from our Division 2 SARM Joanne Panitsky, whatever it is, weed identification and control workshop that is going to be happening July 16th. And I realize Jim has been our weed inspector and rodent inspector for a lot of years, and nothing against Jim at all, but I think that we appoint them in December, I think, and I would maybe suggest that we might try advertising beforehand, just to see if there's any interest to open it up to some other people, and again, I don't want to upset Jim or anything, but he's like the rest of us. We're getting older, and how many more years is he going to be doing it? And all of a sudden, we're going to find that we don't have somebody in place. So I would like to try to be proactive about it, and maybe start looking a little bit to the future. So and again, it doesn't say that you have to have the weed inspector and the rodent inspector the same guy, but again, it might be worthwhile looking at different avenues for it. And other than that, that's it.
Thanks, Tim. Stephen?
I'm all good. I got nothing to talk about.
Karen?
I've been having a few problems this year with our weed policy. Have you been having any in the office?
I'll turn it to Karen's team.
Yeah, yard maintenance policy. Yeah, so the CSOs have taken over the inspections, so we're going through a few hiccups, but we are trying to get on track to make sure we've got all the properties that have tall grass and weeds, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because I did have one ratepayer message me about a lot, and she sends it every year, because every year that lot gets missed. And so the weeds are now 2.5 feet high going to seed. So when I reported it, and Rod he answered me right away, which was good. But now it has to go through the whole notification process. So now these people, like, it's going to be what, 2 weeks down the road before this lot will even get looked after.
Yeah.
So
We'll make sure we flag that one for each year to make sure it's on the list the first round. Yeah, we'll have to follow the process though and send that registered letter out with the
Okay.
order.
So maybe after the meeting, I could give you her, and maybe someone could reach out to her and just explain to her what happened, because this happens every year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Karen. Stan?
The only one I usually talk about is the wastewater, and it's on track. Everything's going good. The rains, the little splashes we've had that kind of slowed things up a little bit, but other than that, everything's working great. There's been no money call for this month. So I think that's good news. Everything's on track there. We're still ahead of it. And working on the downstream study. That's our main push. And that's going very well, as a matter of fact. And the big concern now is we're worrying about what we're going to do with storage cell number 3. So we've got people investigating on that and checking on whether we'll be or what we're going to do to move forward with it. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Other than that, that's about it.
Thank you. Carmen? Oh, sorry. Yeah, the chair. Sorry, Nicole. I was looking at your chair and it was empty. If you got anything for roundtable?
Yeah, that's okay. I do actually. I am going to come and sit with, make an appointment just to discuss Woods Crescent again. So in terms of our recreation funds, there's a few ratepayers that had been brought to my attention that they had been asking for a swing set for a number of years, just to finish up the Woods Crescent Park. So they're the only park in Emerald Park that doesn't have a swing set. They showed me the location where they wanted it, and I would like to take a look at that if that's something that we can accommodate for them, just to finish up that park. One of the trees that was planted, I don't know, he popped right out. So I went over there and put him back in the ground. And yeah, I think everything, I'm just so happy that all those pedestrian lights went up. This perfect timing for summer holidays for the kids, keep everybody safe. And I think that was about it.
Okay, thank you. Carmen?
Couple of things. Just got to find my spot here. One thing is the leafy spurge beetle collection is underway, and my sister actually was going to be participating, but unfortunately due to travel plans she wasn't able to, but she was able to determine or find that a young youth has taken upon themselves to do beetle collection and selling them and delivery. So if anybody's interested in that, I can provide their contact information. I think that's pretty entrepreneurial of them. So I don't know, Tim, knowing you're organic, just as I think I want to say it's like 2,500 beetles delivered for $85. So I think that's the number.
2 years ago, my 2 grandsons and myself went and collected, and I had put them in some of a lot of the places where I put them was on CN's property because the railroad track is just polluted with the leafy spurge. I didn't see much change in after 2 years, and actually I had Joanne come out and she did an inspection. She said that there is signs that they are there still, but the problem is that's all they eat is leafy spurge. So obviously they're not going to deplete the whole thing because that's their only food source. So, they will keep it a little bit under control, but not a whole bunch, where I've kind of gone the other way and my goats love leafy spurge. So I think I'm going to try going more with them. Maybe get into doing a little bit more fencing because they love to get out of the fence, right? Right, Stephen? Yes. Yeah, they love getting out of the fence and everything, and they're smart. But yeah, the beetles, I did try them, and by the sounds of it, they still are active there, but they won't control it totally. So that's the only. I didn't think it was worth the trip to go to the other side of Moose Jaw to go get beetles again. But,
Well, I've done the collection
well, and
myself.
it's good for an entrepreneur to because it is free beetle collection. You can go and you want to spend the whole day there and collecting them. It's it's good exercise.
Definitely good exercise. So anyways, if anybody's interested, I can provide the contact information. I'd noted, Shauna, you'd sent out the note about the White City Council barbecue. So I had already put that on my calendar, so I will be in attendance. I've also lent out some of our RM toys to them for the event, Giant Jenga and Connection stuff. So they've got something for the kids. Just a reminder that the slip and slide, in conjunction with the fire departments of Balgonie, Pilot Butte, White City, and Emerald Park, is happening July 12th in conjunction with Pilot Butte's splashdown days. So,
and if anyone would like to see Councillor Leibel going down the slip and slide, I have video of it. And it was, just to try it out. I took two of my granddaughters came along, and they had a heck of a lot of fun. They really enjoyed it, so they're looking forward to the other one coming up and stuff. And I was surprised how many neighbor kids and everything all came and tried it. And yeah, there was a lot of people that were interested in it.
well, as soon as you see a fire truck and water and slides, it's a no-brainer, I guess. So, just a comment in terms of really nice to see the rural civic addressing signs go up again. That's something that I really appreciate. And Lee is going to be working. We'd asked him to sort of do a how to interpret your signs and tell people how to use them, that kind of thing. So he's working on that. And that's it.
Thanks, Carmen. I just had a couple of things that remind everybody that there's the Balgonie swimming pool opening is this afternoon, if anybody can attend. And Carmen had already mentioned the White City Council barbecue that everybody's invited to attend today. I think it was at 5:30. Yeah. So just on that. And other than that, that is it for me for roundtable. And we're down to correspondence. Oh, no, we didn't do 8.3 yet. Yeah. So we'll do the correspondence, then we'll get, is there any correspondence there, Karen? Okay. So we'll go back to 8.3, all-way stop signage request for Range Road 2182 and Township Road 182.
Yeah, so this came at the request of a ratepayer. I guess prior to 2021, there had been an all-way stop controlled intersection at this location, and the stop signs on the Range Road, the north-south, were removed, so that it was through traffic, as it's the major municipal gravel road, and the intersecting road is municipal dirt. Since then, the ratepayer to the north, on the north side of the intersection, has requested that the stop signs be reinstated. Report was brought to council last year on this issue. We didn't didn't vote on it, but direction was to leave the intersection as is, and ratepayer requested to come as a delegation and address this again. So this report was just put together just to provide kind of the data analysis on if a four-way stop sign is warranted or not. The gist of it is based on the traffic and the level of service provided at the intersection. It's not recommended to reinstate an all-way stop controlled intersection. That being said, there's other options, and council can still choose to put stop signs up if there's other outside reasons that you feel are justified.
Sorry, if you don't mind, what did, because I can't get my screen to go back down. What was administration's recommendation on this?
Administration's recommendation was to deny the request and continue with just stop signs for the township road and not for the range road.
Okay, thank you.
Discussion on the issue?
Yeah, again, the ratepayer, Ron Ring, he had got a hold of me, I believe it was 2 years ago or last year. Anyways, and I, unfortunately, it was his grandfather's home, and now it's so close to the road that it would not be legal if there was ever for building permit and stuff. Unfortunately, their dogs would get on the road and stuff too, and I got a dog too, and I make sure my dog stays in the yard. It's got it. It's just and yeah, there was they had one dog that was hit, and I told them about it. It was laying by the side of the road, and I don't know, by the sounds of it, that they were upset that I didn't stop in. Well, I know Ron, and I know he was working, so I didn't think anyone was home. But at any rate, I refresh my memory. So that there was four-way stops there at one time when I don't remember, I've been on, so let's go on 11 years now, and I don't remember us having four-way stops on there. And if it was, did it come to council at that time, or?
No. So from the background in the report there, it had been a four-way stop up until 2021, and that's when the stop signs were removed on the range road.
Again, I don't remember it being a four-way, that four-way stop, but I know there was a kerfluffle about it, and that they were insisting that it had, and with the traffic counts and stuff that we have there, I think again, I don't agree with the speeding that they were saying too, but maybe we need our CSOs there a little bit more just to try to regulate that. It helps. Quite frankly, if it was myself and I had worry for my children or for my animals, I would put a fence up and try to do my own due diligence on it and stuff. So I don't know what else we can do with it. I don't think putting a four-way stop is gonna alleviate the problem. All it's gonna do is you're gonna have people blowing through stop signs, and that's in itself can be a lot worse.
I just want to add, we just received an email from the Rings this morning in case they weren't able to attend. Unfortunately, I don't think that they can. Their appointment ran over, but they did say if council isn't in favor of a stop sign, they're requesting even a a caution sign, children at play sign. So it's my understanding that council approval is required for any sign. So I would just like to add that to council's consideration, that if council doesn't feel that a stop sign is warranted, that maybe you can consider a caution children at play sign.
Definitely. I would wholeheartedly support putting one of those up for them. I
think didn't last year or the year before we did that, but the ratepayer had to pay for the sign, I believe. Yeah. So I would suggest that we contact them and And if they're interested in paying for the sign, that we could put one up.
Well, so yeah, there's a few options. We could reduce the speed limit through that zone to 60.
You're only looking at one ratepayer though, and then we're setting a precedent.
Sure. We could put children at play signs. However, I don't recommend that for anywhere that's not a park or a public space where children would be playing. This is just a private residence. So when you're looking at children at play signs, you want to concentrate those where children are gathering to play, schools, playgrounds, that kind of thing, rather than homesteads.
Well,
That being said, like, that's just my recommendation.
but we've got, I can't remember how they're worded. There's quite a few around the area that we have put, and it's caution children. I don't know if it's children at play or is it, I'm just trying to remember because there's some on 734, there's some just north of my place and everything too. They're all over the place. And I think that is one way to show that to be careful, because there could be children around and everything. I would be one that could support that. And if council is okay with it, if you can give me a price, and I will contact the ratepayer and see if that is okay with them then too.
I would recommend that if whatever the decision is, council puts it in a motion of council, just because that wasn't done last year. So if you're whatever you're recommending, put it in a motion.
Tim, you want to make a motion?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Stan.
Is that a school bus route of any kind?
I could check that out. I think their kids are quite young there. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not positive what's transpired in that household. So I know they were so they had not adopted, but the kids that they take in, the small kids and stuff from different homes and everything, and what's that called? Foster kids, sorry. Yeah, so I know that they had some foster kids and everything, and again, the fence idea I think would be more feasible there than anything. But at any rate, I'll make a motion that we approach the ratepayer if they purchase the signs, which would be children at play or children. We'll have to look at what's appropriate wording for it, and we will install them if they pay for the signs.
Thanks. Any comments on Tim's motion?
Just, I think they might be feeling it very acutely right now because people with the construction on the on Highway 46, a lot of people, myself included, were taking the back way into the city. So they would have seen a significant increase on that road.
Entrance to their home is on the south side, and they've got a stop sign, like the way their entrance is. And like their request was to switch them. Really is what the request was.
They had originally asked for to switch, which we couldn't do.
To go to north.
Well,
and
they
south
wanted the
and not
four-way
east and
stop
west.
first, and then I said that's not going to happen. So then they wanted to switch it. Well, again, that you're going east and west. All of the roads are all stop signs. You're not going to have a change midstream like that.
And that's where the entrance is to their
Well,
property.
they got two. They got two entrances. They do have one on the north-south road too. Yeah.
Aaron, can you maybe speak to CSOs, what inspections or speed monitoring they've done in the past or recently?
Sorry, yeah, they recently monitored the area for a couple of evenings and there wasn't a whole lot of traffic. They didn't do any traffic stops for speeding while they were out there. That's all I can report on that.
Yeah, so I guess historically it hasn't been a spot that CSOs have been out to speed monitor. It's something that we could add to the program in terms of a rotation. We could speak with them to see when they experience kind of those dangerous situations with people speeding and kind of target certain times. But that's an aspect of what we can do to help with the speed. Again, I don't recommend stop signs to address speed concerns. That's stop signs and intersection control are mostly for level of service at intersections to make sure there's safe and adequate flow of traffic. For speed, there's other things we can do. Rural roads, there's not a lot you can do. In urban settings, there's a lot of designs that you can put into the roads and intersections to make it more uncomfortable for cars so that they have to slow down. But in a rural area, those options just aren't available. So I think the CSO speed monitoring would be kind of the best bet in terms of curbing behavior at that intersection, in lieu of any other kind of signage that's put up. But
So the child at play signs, does that mean that people have to slow down, or is it just saying there's children around?
yeah, there's no enforcement. It doesn't change the speed limit. It doesn't do anything other than hopefully alert the drivers. That being said, the more signs you put up, the more sign fatigue people will feel. Like Councillor Brote said, they're kind of spattered throughout the RM. And eventually people just see them and again, kind of start ignoring them. They will go a long way to kind of ease the landowner in the area to the perception that the RM's doing something and hopefully it does spark something if someone's driving by that they don't, hit the gas. But yeah, nothing that the CSOs would be able to enforce in terms of other than whatever the posted speed limit is there.
I think it's more or less just to let people know that there could be a potential for kids being around there. But again, it falls back to the landowner to try to make their property as safe as they can for their children and for their animals and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a tough situation and nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, and so if it takes us a little bit of time to put up a couple of signs, and myself, when I'm driving down the road and I'm trying to do 80K and I see one of those children at play signs, I do usually slow down just in case, and especially in that situation because that house is so close to the road that the potential for somebody running out could be bad. So yeah, I think it's one way of showing that we are trying to help them to a certain extent, but the four-way stop, it's not a option, I don't think.
So maybe they should, recommendation it would be to save your money on the sign and put up a fence, put it towards the fence.
Any other comments on Karen? No? All right. No other. Oh, sorry, Nicole?
Yeah, I'm in favor of the motion.
Okay,
have
we'll
no
call the question. Call the question. All in favor? Motion is carried. Thanks, Nicole.
Can I, do you mind if I go back to round table? Is it okay if I ask there was a dog attack that happened, and I'm just not sure, I'm not clear, I'm not at home right now, but there was a dog attack and I'm just trying to figure out, did it happen in the RM or was it in White City? I've been sent pictures and they said the CSOs were involved and I just am trying to, was it our CSOs? Was it White City? Does anyone have any information on the dog attack?
Yes, it was within the RM. Our CSOs have been are dealing with it.
Do you have any other question on that, Nicole?
Nope, I just was making sure. I just wanted to know where it actually took place. It was in the RM. Then. Are the dogs locked up? Are they in somebody's yard? Should people be concerned? Where are we at? Wait for the CSOs to provide information at a later
So it just happened. So I spoke with CSO Wall just yesterday at the end of the day. So I will follow up with her. It was in the Park Meadows, Meadow Ridges area. So I will follow up with our CSO to get further details.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, that's it. Before we adjournment, that we reminded everybody to stay back, that we're going to have our 10-minute training session, the first module after we're done.
Well, we're not actually going to do the training module. It's going to be involved with the training module. We're going to get prepared for the training module.
Sorry, I misspoke. All right, that's it for the agenda. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Stephen,
I make a motion, we adjourn for the meeting.
sorry, Nicole, could you go again?
Yeah, I said I make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Motion is carried.